Okay, so I got this little funky setup. I'm out in the little guest house thing. This is a day bed, so see, I'm like way up on the edge, so it's all gonna look weird. So, anyways, but there was some stuff I wanted to talk about. For one thing, my brother's in brain surgery today, so he's got him in there. We've gotten 2 updates so far that they had started, and now they're halfway through, and everything's going good. So, that's going on. My daughter is here to help out with Stella. Just told me she's gonna take her that one. I kind of had a meltdown. Said some stuff about, we had to drop it because I don't know. It's just, people are waking, like I've said this whole time, people wake up to certain things, but they are just not waking up to everything at once. And so there was a bunch of things I was going to talk about. They were telling me stuff. I got to try and think of, because now I've been having all of these emotional things. Stella still won't eat. She hasn't gotten up at all. She's been drinking water. I took her when we got home last night from the vet. I took her out and she peed. And then she went in and laid down, and she has not moved from that spot this whole time. And I've given her water. I finally just dissolved the pills that they gave me for the nausea, and it's like they gave some kind of like Dramamine kind of stuff and something for nausea and some antibiotics. So I just dissolved them in water and put them in her mouth with a plunger thing, and it was like a lot of stuff, drool coming out, like, but I'm sure she got some in there. So hopefully that'll help her not feel so dizzy and not so nauseous, so she can start eating. I ground up a bunch of meat and made it like not completely liquid, but she just won't take anything. So, and this whole side is still real droopy, and then she kind of is leaning, and so they wanted me to put her on some blood thinners. And I'm going to run down to the vet or the pharmacy today and pick those up. Those are I was kind of nervous, but the pharmacy closed at 6. Everything closes around here so early. But so I dropped it off, and then we went to get creamer for my daughter's coffee, and then it was closed. We got there at 1 minute after. It was completely dark. Not a person left. It's like they must leave like 5 minutes before. Like, they don't fuck around. And so I was nervous though, like, oh my gosh, she's falling around. If she falls and she's on blood thinners, that can cause bleeding, that can cause extra problems. So that's the thing when you start getting into needing meds. This med can cause this problem and this problem. That's why we start layering all these problems on top of each other. And, we have so many people who it's affecting. And like, she thinks there's nothing. Like, all of the stuff about that is lies. She's like, I feel fine. There's no problem. So I said, well, just figure you're not going to have a job soon because they're going to go down for crimes against humanity, because she said they have to have it in order to work. And I said, well, and she also told me that her boss, and this was one of the things I wanted to talk about, because she was talking about her boss, the CEO. So she works for a nonprofit that is for helping families that are in dire straits, like ones where kids are being abused, or there's so much stuff. And so they're there to help with that kind of thing. And so they're nonprofit. But the CEO is pulling money from all the programs and giving herself raise after raise after raise. And she just did one, I guess, within the last few weeks. And so now she's making like $350 a year, while they're not being able to give services to people who need it, like little kids who are being sexually abused by siblings and stuff. So they are, and that's a part of crimes against humanity, man. And I was trying to get her to understand that the people who are committing crimes against humanity, especially in regards to kids, that's all covered in those executive orders. You're going down. Like, that's the big movement here. That's the big switch around, It's no more abusing people like this and taking from the system and letting other people fall aside for your own selfish. And she's a single woman. She's probably like around my age or something. Her husband's dead. She's single. And you need that much money, really. And my daughter said, she's one of those real like show offy kind of, I've got money, look at me, So it's, these people are going to be going down. And the thing that I was also noticing is like when she was here last night, she was showing me some stuff. One of the things was a Facebook post, and it is a guy, and he had worked at Burger King 27 years, raised 2 daughters by himself, and never missed a day of work. And the whole thing was, for his work, Burger King gave him like a little bag with 1 movie ticket, because 2 was too many anymore. They had to cut back. They used to do 2, but 1's good enough. And something like some pins and paper or something. I mean, it was really sad and lame. And the guy was on Facebook, and he was showing like how excited he was, like, look at what loyalty gets you, like, I got a little gift here. And look at how little, people think, like that's something good, and so all these people started giving money, and he's had $350,000 in donations now. $350,000 people have given him, just human beings giving him money. And the thing is, too, is this guy is a black guy, raised 2 daughters by himself, never missed a day of work. Look at how many paradigms, look at how much generalization and stereotyping was just dismantled by this one man. Like, how long have we heard black men won't take care of their kids, black men won't go to work? All of this stuff that they've told us is just showing us over and over and over that they were lying. And all of these things that keep coming to the surface is to get that, to start working in people's minds, to realize, like, that's crazy. They always said that black guys don't raise their kids. They always said black guys don't go to work. And this guy is proud and excited. He worked 27 years at the same damn Burger King for 27 years. Every day, never missed a day of work, and went home and took care of 2 daughters by himself. So, and there was another one, I guess, yesterday as well, that she showed me, where a young guy jumped in a river and saved 6 people. And so I said, it's crazy, because I've listened to so many people for so long. I hate people. People suck. Oh God, people are horrible. And this is the shift. This is the division thing that's happening. The 2 paths to go on, It is, this, so you're awakening, right? People are supposed to be awakening. A lot of people are holding it back. Like, your soul is being pushed to awaken right now. And when your soul awakens, you're going to live a different life path, because you're going to live from something deeper. Because when your soul is not awake, it's just your avatar living by the rules, trying to create an acceptable life in the paradigm structure that was created to contain us. So the people who are in there scurrying around as the worker bees, they haven't fully awakened yet to their own power, although it is happening. I saw a girl yesterday on TikTok, and she was saying that she was going to go get this job, or she was changing jobs, changing homes. She sold her home. She was out looking for her houses and stuff. And she said that when she kept going in, she just kept hearing so loud, this isn't what you want. This isn't what you want. And so she started really thinking about it and being like, I don't want to just be in this trap of go to work just to have this house. I want something more. I want to help people. I want to be a healer. I want to do something different. This isn't what I want to be. And that's your soul coming to life to tell you. But see, like, we have these, and remember I told you about that her friend at work, and then the other girl, this was her little sister, when she was a big sister, that they were both had the same murderer of that situation. Well, another one now. 3 that she just knows of. See, bet your ass this guy is. And he is covered because he is a part of the happy hour, the rush hour. He's part of that system. So the rush hour, you know, what happens during rush hour where we all are, he's a part of that. And he's already been busted for it, but that's what they do. They get people who come in, commit crimes, and then they are like, oh, you meet our criteria. We got a job for you. So then they become like, what are those people? An informant or something. They're just part of the system, only they're playing it in the dark over they're on the ground. Like, it's not undercover because they already are that. So it's just they're being used. But since they get to commit crimes and get away with it, they're all for it. So they don't, you know, they play the game. And this is this is the division right there. That is what is happening. So as our souls are coming to life, and we have people come into life wanting to help other people connect, sending money to somebody because they want to help them with their retirement because they didn't get anything. I mean, or jumping in a river and saving people. Or are you trying to look for loopholes so that you can pad your own pockets and take from the needy and keep putting it inside of your pockets? Or are you going in and stealing? Are you going in and hurting people? Like, everyone who's making those choices at this time while this stuff is happening, that is their soul. I mean, it's their like their choice. It's like, because your soul is inside of you, yelling and screaming to come out and play. Like, this is, I'm here, listen to me, listen to me. But the mind trap has people so trapped in the system that they can't hear it. And they don't want to hear it. They just want to hear somebody say, hey, you're doing a good job. Hey, you're really pretty. Hey, you know what I mean? They're just looking for that outside confirmation from somebody that they're okay. Because everybody wants to feel okay. And when a consciousness hasn't come to its realization of what it is, it's always looking outside of itself for somebody to give it confirmation, give it something to feel good about, you know, because most people want to feel good. And, you know, I mean, even the people who are taking and trying to become rich or whatever, they are trying to feel good. You know, they're working on something dark inside of them, some pain that they haven't dealt with yet. That is their drive and motivation to try and gather, you know, as many acorns as possible so that they can break free from that feeling of not being enough, not being good enough. But see, that's the material world is, you have to sell your soul a little bit to be a part of that system. But your soul doesn't want to be sold anymore. Everybody's soul wants to come out. Everybody's soul wants to go and start experiencing. And the people who can't hear it, it's because they're not ready yet. They're going to have to go through more of these 3D life experiences to get to the point of being ready to hear them. So I think when she was talking about that, I was like, oh, this is the split. This is the split. It's our own choices that is pulling us in one direction or the other. And there will be repercussions to our choices. There will be, like, a lot of people who are going with the dark, they're going to find, like I told her, there's going to be people who are going down for crimes against humanity. Like, your whole business can go down. Like, and, you know, this being mandated, saying you have to have a job, like, what job is worth that? But when you don't think there's anything wrong with these, and you don't think there's anything that's making you sick, they're taking healthy people and convincing them that they need chemical injections in order to stay healthy, which is actually doing the opposite. It's actually making your body have to fight all these chemicals and toxins on top of the chemicals and toxins in our environment that is keeping us, you know, weaker and sicker and keeping us more asleep. It's all part of the thing. Keep people asleep, keep them struggling, keep them, you know, running around chasing that carrot. It's all for the same purpose. And, you know, I saw the whole thing with the Georgia Guidestones going down. And this is where it starts being like questions. There's a lot of questions. A lot of people are like, well, what about this? What about that? So one guy, he said that he got footage from totally two different things. One of them was from the news, and one of them was from somebody who lives there who filmed it. And he said it was totally different. One of them had like a big dump truck doing it, or a big bulldozer. And then the other one had, I don't know what he called it, like maybe it was a scooper or something, but totally different machines. He said that they are not the same at all. And so right there, like, how is there different footage? Well, because everything is fucking fake. It's all fake. And the sky stuff, my daughter, she was like, the sky is normal. There's nothing weird with the sky. Because I could not stop laughing this morning. I saw this guy, and he had this thick southern accent, and talked real slow. And he was showing the sky, and the sky was bizarre looking, really bizarre looking, like this long, it was just weird looking. I don't even know how to explain it. These long, like, cloud things. I don't think they look like clouds. They look more like big, heavy stripe things, but real long. And underneath them was this other thing. It was really weird looking. And so he was saying something about it, and I just started cracking up because I just couldn't stop laughing, especially with his voice and stuff, because I've been saying this for so long about the sky. I mean, I started talking about the sky, I think it was 2017 or 2018. It's hard to remember all the time, but I think it was around 2017 or 2018 when I started noticing. It was before, so it was like 4 years ago. Yeah, I think it was about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, when I started going out, and I started being like, whoa, this is weird. Everything looks three-dimensional, like I'm in a picture or something. And I started noticing weird stuff in the sky, and I started telling people, like, you know, this is weird. Like, this isn't, something's weird going on. Like, something's weird with the sky. And so, and I've just continued. And watching these things is why it's like being observant of these things has gotten me to notice these. I mean, that's how I've seen, like, how much the chemtrails and stuff has grown. You know, and looking into things and seeing, like, oh, we're being fumigated. This isn't by accident. And then the whole thing with the Georgia Guidestones, I mean, it tells us, they've told us, they've got an agenda. They don't want us all here. They want to keep control of their little, they want to stay the overlords of their little reality, but it's impossible anymore because this reality is falling apart. It is so much like that big piece of glass or mirror out in the cold when it starts just shattering, just like, and just shatters out. That's what's going on. Or you know, a shallow pond in an ice storm where it's frozen on the top and someone takes a step and it just crackles out. That's what's happening to this reality. It's crackling. And but when I very first started noticing, you know, and telling people, but nobody could see it. Everybody thought I sounded crazy. And I think, you know, one of the big things is because being kicked out of the rat race and having to do my healing to survive is what freed me up and opened me up to be more observant. I didn't have to focus on when I was going to get to work and what was happening at work, what I had to get done, what I was going to make for dinner when I got home. I didn't have to focus on all that stuff anymore. And I started being able to just, you know, I started going out riding my bike a lot. When I go out and ride my bike, that's where I started being like, you know, this looks weird. Like, everything looks weird. And, but, you know, nobody said it. But now, just hearing so many people say it all the time, it just cracks me up. Because they all have that same feeling as how I felt. And I felt so alone. And I kept saying, something's weird, you guys. And everybody's like, okay, crazy person. And, but now hearing so many people sitting there saying, like, you guys, there's something weird. Like, look at this sky. Like, what's going on? And, you know, that is the thing. That is the pulling you out of the one reality and pulling you into the other one. You know, it's your soul that is trying to tell you, look around you, look around you. This isn't real. This isn't real. And I was really glad there's another guy I follow, and he's up here in Washington State too, because there's so much arguing about the flat earth and the globe and stuff. I told you, if I say anything about flat earth, you get people just come in like, you know, fully loaded, both barrels. Like, you know, you've got to hold on to these paradigms, these structures, these programming and indoctrination. I can't let go of it. You know, the whole world will fall apart. So, and it just takes the realization that things aren't right. But then the people who go into the flat earth get really stuck on that and don't go further into it. Like, because it's all hologram. We're in a big freaking amphitheater. We're in a multiplex theater. And we've all been here having our experiences, doing our thing, living our realities, trying to learn from each other, from our own soul group, not from the whole mass collective. For most of us, the mass collective was nothing but an annoyance. So people are so stupid. I hate people. And I just keep seeing now like, oh my God, I love people. Oh my God, people are so sweet. People are so kind and so nice. People have just been so misdirected for so long. They have just been struggling and living in pain and not knowing how to get out of it. And it's all been this mind trap that has kept people in pain and suffering. But see, a person has to want more for themselves. They have to want to remove themselves from pain and suffering. They have to really look under a microscope. What's causing this? What is holding me back? And that is where you have to look at yourself, because there's nothing holding you back. You're a projection. Everything that's holding you back is inside of you. So you are what you need to look at. You are what you need to examine. You are what needs to be under the microscope. And then you have to go in and you have to look at, like, what is it? Why would I go and try and make this person happy? Like, when we were talking, it was great last night. We were getting to really sit and visit and stuff. And she was telling me about some different people and what's going on with them. And I just kept hearing it over and over, the same thing. People don't know how to love themselves, and they don't know how to stand up for what they want. They're always out trying to do everything to please everybody else, but they're not pleasing themselves. People feel guilty and selfish to love or please themselves. And they feel like they have to do all of these things, because if they can make everybody else happy, then maybe they can find a little piece of that happiness for themselves. But really, it goes the opposite, because our soul doesn't want to live like that. Our soul doesn't want to be trying to please everybody else and always feel empty. Because remember, everything is about energy. So when you're just giving your energy to make someone else happy, when you're just giving your, my throat, it's really, I think it is with this weather that they're doing. Like right now, it is so moist, so wet. It is so humid. So I don't know. And I ate last night and right back to a stomach problem. So there's so much toxins. There's so much bullshit. We're fighting all the time. And, you know, I'm so anxious to get to those med beds and start, you know, raising my frequency inside myself, you know, and then getting those little charms or whatever to keep it up, because that little necklace thing, it just keeps putting that charge back through you, because it's not just our reality that is a toroidal field. Each and every soul is its own. And then you picture the mandala coming out, like I put on this really cool, it was one of those meditation things on the TV, and it was just these colors and these, like a mandala kind of thing, and it just kept going and moving and changing, and that is what the universe is. I'll try and see if I can get a little bit of footage and share it, because that's what the universe is. That's what we are. We are color. We are movement. We are energy. We are a projection of ourselves into an experience so that we can learn and grow. I tried to explain that to her. Like, you got to think of, because she doesn't, remember, she doesn't believe you have a soul. So this is just turning on to her. She was asking me questions about like a soul. But a lot of people who are in the three-dimensional think of a soul as a three-dimensional entity, just like they think of demons and angels as all three-dimensional entities. That's all just so you can have a Barbie or a toy or something to have in the dollhouse so that you can look at it and understand it. But when you move up into higher-minded consciousness, then you realize that none of that is real. That is it's all just energy. It's all just consciousness. It's all just, like yesterday, one of the things, what was it? I was, something with the dreams or something. I have all this floor stacked up here though. So I'm going to redo this floor. When I redo this whole thing, I'm going to take down all of this, the wallboard or whatever, this paneling wallboard stuff. I'm going to take all that down and I'm going to put in all new, what is that stuff called? That pink stuff that holds the heat in. Oh, whatever it's called. I can hear it, see it kind of. But anyways, I'm going to put all of that in new. So get everything, winterized, and then put new boards on. But I don't think I'm going to do, I'm going to just put another board, but a better board. Like in my house, there's a lot of wood walls. I think it's called wainscot or something, but it's other pieces of wood. So I'm going to do something like that, like put the wallboard and then put the wainscot over it or something. Get it all winterized. And then take out all these windows and put in, this has got a couple windows in the door and stuff. Three windows, and I might put in another window. But then winterize it with the windows and then put in a compost toilet. I have a camper toilet, which is basically the same thing. The compost toilet's just a little bit fancier. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll even put plumbing out here. Who knows? I don't know. But, anyways, I want to make this its own little, building, like its own little thing. So, anyways, that's just stuff I want to do. And who knows? Maybe this whole thing is going to just blow up and be gone soon. I don't know. It's weird because, they're doing all this stuff right now with the inflation. And I'm going to use my house payment to go. And my daughter's like, I really wish you would just pay your house payment, not do that. But it's crazy because what blows my mind, and I just told her, is like all of these people who worship science, who believe in science, that's the way to go, and hate religion, hate God, hate all of that. None of that's real. It's just science is real. This is all just science. But then you start telling them about the science, the technology, and it's like, no, that's not real. That's not real. It's like, what? So med beds are higher sophisticated science, but that can't be real, but you believe in science. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's where everything is. You can just see where it's interfering with fucking logic. It's interfering with common sense, what they're doing. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre. We got in an argument this morning about, because the My Body, My Choice slogan, I guess, by one group thinks the other group stole it, and then it doesn't have anything to do with their group. And it's like, I told her, it's exactly the same. I mean, it's your body. Nobody can tell you what to do with your body. It doesn't matter what argument you're having. A sovereign being is not dictated by, you can't dictate to me how to live my life. You can't tell me what to do with my body. And I saw, it was a really cool thing I saw where somebody was explaining the Wizard of Oz and what it all really meant. And, it all has to do with the straw man and we are all straw men. We all gave up our rights as far as they're concerned as soon as we got a birth certificate, which was forced on everybody. But that they believe that was us giving up our rights, becoming a straw man. And in the thing, we go to them for a piece of paper to tell us that we're smart enough. It's all just such bullshit, you know. I mean, everything is right in front of us, what they've been doing to us. But you have to start seeing it. Once you start seeing it, it freaks you out. Like, there's a lot of people who are just totally freaked out right now by everything that they are starting to realize. A lot of people who are scared. A lot of people are just so stuck on the politics. They just can't even get over it. And so stuck at the basics. Still fighting one party to one party. It's like, when are you going to see the truth? When are you going to see this is all one beast? Everything going on here. Like, my daughter had woke up to the corporate overreach and the control and the slave system. And so that's what I was telling her this morning. Yeah, but you think that they are that way, then why in the hell are they going to do anything good for you? Why are they going to give you something free? Think about it. They're there to make money. Why are they passing out chemicals for free? Think about it. And, you know, and I thought, well, she's like, we can't talk about this. I'm like, yeah, there's no reason to talk about it. There's no reason to argue about it. I said, you know, I've got to appreciate my time I have with you, obviously. And I was just like, you know, there's no reason to argue about stuff that's going to play out. And right now, shit is playing out. It's going to continue to play out. It's going to keep opening up. Georgia Guidestones was supposed to get a lot of people who didn't know about it, get their attention. Because there's a lot of people who are saying, you know, who do you think took it down? Especially when they're not showing the footage. There should have been footage of the whole thing. But there's only this little thing of footage. They're not showing who went in and put the bomb. It's probably a fucking drone. It's probably an energy weapon from the sky. But everything in which side is it from? You know? Because everything that is happening right now on this planetary system, in this realm, is to wake people up. And to get them to pay attention, because this is everybody's opportunity to ascend. And when a soul's not ready to ascend, they're not going to wake up. They're not going to question their reality, because their soul is just not ready. It's too mind trapped, and it's going to have to go through more experiences. And the sucky thing is that the experiences are all really horrible. But people have to keep going through horrible experiences to get them to realize what this world is. And it's so crazy when you just really think about, like, you're a projection into this place, but it can seem so real, and then you're not even connected to who's projecting you in. It's weird, because I told her, I said, it's like you're, just got to think about you, who you are, is out there somewhere in space, like laying on a bed, meditating, projecting itself into a reality, because we are a dream. Everything is a dream. Nothing is not a dream. And your consciousness has got birthed into this reality, so it can't just leave until it transitions out. You've got contracts that bind you to the experience. So you have to stay, but your consciousness isn't in this avatar all the time. Man, I shut my eyes for 5 minutes and I'm gone. I'm somewhere else. I'm not here. And I'm having other experiences in other places that are just as real as this one. And that's the thing too, as we all awaken, as we all become stronger souls, we begin to learn that we can all do these things. We can all move around outside of this avatar. But the cool thing is, I think, is that as we expand, I believe that this is going to teach us how to do some of this stuff with the avatar, with our own being of light. Oh, that's what that girl said. We're beings of light here in the dark. Oh, I can't remember how she said it. It was really cool how she said it. And it just was a little bit different than just like a light worker just coming in here working the light. The way she explained it, it just was really cool. But anyways, so I think it is very much that we're seeing right now the two paths going And anybody who's on the wrong path can always jump ship and go to the other path. You know, I think, you know, one thing I was thinking about this too, because all of these names, you know, being released and stuff like that. I think that there is going to be some people, like when you think about like the Hollywood scene, right? Because you got this scene in everything. You got this scene in just the fundraiser people, like just the rich people in different towns. Like I saw a girl talking about, she's a kid in Connecticut, and I don't remember, it seems like she was from one of these rich families. But these rich families, the ones running the Connecticut scene, that they would have these big parties, and they would all be making the kids do it with each other, making them do it with them, all this stuff. She's exposing, and she was calling names. She was saying who the people were. She said, I'm freaking, this is it. But there's so many people doing that right now. And so in all of these different cities and towns, like I just watched the Johnny Grosh thing again, or that's going around again. And that's on YouTube, the documentary about that. If you haven't seen that, definitely watch it, because it shows you like how it all got started for us, how we all got pulled into it when they start just snatching kids off the street. And there was a reason why, because they wanted something. I think they wanted little white virgins. Like they like to eat other ones, but you know, there's a whole thing about stuff. But anyways, the Johnny Grosh thing is out there again, and they were talking about the Omaha one, and my daughter was talking about like different ones. Like there's a whole bunch of different ones in all the cities. They all have a group that does that. So you can see why the people who are all into the rush hour keeps them busy, you know. And then plus, you know, they've got to get the harvest in, you know. They all need parts. Vampires need to have parts. I just saw William Shatner. Go look at his picture. He's almost 100 and he looks like he's 60. It's like, these people are sickos. So anyways, you got that with the DC crowd, and you got it with the Hollywood crowd. You got it with the sports people. So all of the different groups all have this beast inside of it. And I think that a lot of the people, because I was just thinking about the Hollywood one because of the names that they were saying, and some of the names are always surprising. Like, man, that's surprising. Some of them, it's like, oh, yeah, that's a shock. But some of them are just, you know, kind of surprising. And I think, you know, that they did their parties, you know, and they get their bait girls to go out, drag these rich guys in, or rich women, whoever, you know, however they're going to get it. They're the bait to pull them in. Naomi Campbell, a lot of these models and stuff were bait. So they pull them into the thing, and then, you know, there's nothing to roofie people and set up video and pictures to get blackmail and stuff. So I think that there was people who, you know, went in, you know, possibly go to a party, say, and you see a lot of dark stuff happening, and you try and go. Maybe, you know, you got drugged, you know, or you couldn't go, but by the time you actually got to go, that when you tried to tell anybody, nobody would listen. I've been there. And so it kind of limited you, because you could tell certain people and you could get yourself wiped out real quick, or people in your family. And they do a lot of stuff. Like I've heard people say that go up first, they'll kill your dog, and then they'll work their way up to kind of show you like, hey, we mean business, shut your fucking mouth. And so kind of gets them into a place of like, you know, there's nobody to protect me. There's nobody here for me. When you get to that side of it and you see like, oh, at this party, there's judges and stuff doing this. There's people who are running the show of this planet who are in here doing this stuff. Like, who's going to protect me? Where am I supposed to get protection? And then you're contracted in. Then you're just the system's little bitch. So you have to do what you're told. And you go in and you know, go make your movie or go play your game or whatever it is that you've got yourself into. And you can't, there's nobody to help you get out of it. And I think that there was a certain point where I think probably with a lot of the footage, because the tapes are supposedly about to be released of the blackmail tapes. They'll probably go kind of underground at first, and then they'll start, people start sharing them and sharing, probably be on Reddit first or something, who knows. But so I think there was probably some names, and tapes didn't exactly match some of the names, and that they're the people who are doing the investigation, if you want to call them the Alliance, the White House, people who work for Durham or whatever, the people who are fighting against the rush hour problem, that they are in there, they would go and approach these people. And I think a lot of those people probably then gave up some names, then, finally had someone on their side and could, give up some names and tell. So I think there's probably some people in all areas, because there's dark and light in every place, that in all areas of every faction of our reality, that there's the two forces. And when there started being more light to come in, before we were just in the dark. We were in the dark of not knowing, but we were in the dark with no protection. When the light started coming in, and it started giving us protection. So when those people started being able to be protected, then they could start giving more information, and they could be protected. And that is going to, I think there's going to be something about that is going to come. I think there's going to be a lot of people who, or probably even could be testifying right now. They could be in court right now testifying against people like, yeah, I was at the party. Yeah, I saw it happen. Yep, that really happened. And, there won't be retribution anymore. I think there's probably people who are still in protective custody, but there won't be the retribution, because these people are all like, the Stephen Colbert's of the world. Man, and that guy, the arrogance. The arrogance behind some of these sick people is weird, but it's something inside your soul. It's your soul, that allows yourself to go into such a dark direction. Even if your soul doesn't realize you're in a dark direction at first, at some point, something tells it you've gone dark. And only thing I can think of it is just the lack of understanding about a soul, understanding about what this place is, understanding about why you exist. And it's so crazy, because the only thing that people can even get themselves into is just going right into, well, religion and God and a soul and devils and angels. It's like, but you got to go past that. You gotta leave that behind. That's part of this social structure, the paradigms of control. It is nothing about that. It is energy. It is consciousness. It's consciousness, energy that is able to project itself for experience. Last night, they were showing me stuff, but I don't think I could explain it as well. But like one of the things, like a soul, it showed like an energy force or energy, like your energy, your essence. And it was, how I'm always saying like that movement, like the tracking, and how that's how everything is. So it was showing that in the energy just kept morphing into all of these different, it was like changing from face to face to face to face to face, all these different faces. It was changing from animals to people, all sorts of things. That is what a soul is. It's energy that it can go and change itself into anything it wants to be. Trees, it's all the same. Flowers, all the same. Rocks, all the same. Everything that is alive is energy that is manifesting itself into an experience. And so everything is energy, even if it's a projection. We are the projection. We are the set. We are the movie. We are all these things. And it is all of us as energy. And so when you really get your head around, like, and then you think like, well, why would energy do that? Why would energy go and manifest into an experience, because energy wants to understand what it is. Energy is out there in movement, in this, you think of yourself as this movement, this toroidal field of energy, and you're just in movement. But you want to understand, what am I? What am I doing? Who am I? Why do I do this? How do I feel? Why do I feel this way? Would I feel different in a different circumstance? And that is how all experience occurs, because your energy wants to experience itself, and it has the ability to project itself in this, multiplex theater that you're birthed into, so that you can experience other people and interact with other people, so that you can understand more of who you are in an experience, and you can understand how you're affected by certain things. Like, you have compassion. Once you have gone through an experience of being abused, as a abused housewife who doesn't know how to get away, somebody who's never had that experience will be judgmental of that. Somebody who's had that experience would be like, I completely have compassion. I have empathy. I understand, the defeated way this person feels. I personally, at this point in my life, can see all of these things and understand all of these things, but I know that everything comes back to learning how to love yourself. And I know so much of it has to do with getting into understanding what you are and who you are. And there's so many lies that have been programmed into our mind. The sheer fact that they tell you that you can die is just the biggest lie of all to me. And that is what, right away, where they create fear. I remember being a little kid being scared to death about death. I was like, oh my God, my parents are going to die. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to die? Where am I going to go? What's going to happen if I die? Maybe that's why my guides came in, because I was in such a panic mode about it and started talking to me right off the bat. And, giving me information, leading me in directions, and, unveiling the truth to me throughout my life span, my life experience. And I know it's all to get to this point, to talk about it, to help other people understand and help other people, so that people can begin to get that kind of, where it all makes sense, where things just start making sense, because you start realizing who and what you are, and there is a purpose, and you are here to learn, and you are here to learn compassion. And that is where we have this huge divide right now, where people they only see their side. They're not opening themselves up to the other side, because when you open yourself up to the other side, you see you both are fighting the same fight. There should be no division that's created. But you have to have empathy for the other side. And people don't want to give empathy or compassion or understanding. They only want to think their side is right. And it goes all the way back down to religion. When these people who are going and attacking that girl over cussing and stuff. And, and I'm not the only one on TikTok who keeps saying, I see so many other spiritual content creators saying, this constant attack by religious people. Religious people are like vipers at this time. They think that we all have to go by this book, because they go by the book and they believe so wholeheartedly in this book. But when you take the book and you start breaking it down, you start seeing, where in the world do you think God or Jesus or anything would want you to be a bully or be mean to somebody? It doesn't make sense, but they do it, and then they think that they're doing it for the right cause. It's no. You are a system lied to you. They gave you this book and told you it meant this, but you have to go inside your soul to see the hypocrisy in the book. You have to go in and question it in order to see the hypocrisy. They are all playing with dark energy. They're playing with dark and evil, because you don't go in and be judgmental. That's low vibration to treat people like that. And so how is this book building you up? If you're going in and bullying people and tearing people down and making people cry and making people feel bad about themselves and telling people they have to be just like you, like, that's not this freedom. That's not a soul being independent. That is you controlling somebody else by being a bully and being mean. And then where is that? Something about Christ consciousness. Because Christ consciousness is completely different than that. Christ consciousness is loving yourself, knowing who and what you are, learning to love yourself, and not pushing your values, your beliefs, your thoughts on somebody else and then telling them that they're wrong. Each soul has their own. No soul is over another soul. Every soul is an independent, sovereign soul. And these people who keep wanting to try and be over other souls, they've got ego issues. They've got arrogant issues. They've got problems. And the people using a book and trying to say that they can because the book said so, again, ego, arrogance, all of those things. These are the things that are coming to the surface. So what I keep seeing, when I was talking to her and stuff, and she was telling me about some of these people and what's going on in their lives, and, you know, all these people just being depleted and worn out by martyring themselves. All of these things are all going to be what comes to the surface when this thing happens, whatever's going to happen that's going to shift us going the other direction. And it just keeps seeming like it's really, I mean, it seems like we're so close. It seems like we are so freaking close. Like, just signs like they're about to inflate something with interest or the houses or something again. I don't know how they keep doing this and they haven't crashed it already, because it's already crashed. It's all a game. Oh, and Boris quitting now. So Boris is stepping down. Dude, we feel pretty sure you're not stepping down. You're hanging. Like, that's not, because that's what's going on. Anyone who committed crimes against humanity, anyone who did things that were bad to little people, they're in trouble. Anybody who's involved with Rush Hour or Harvest or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, right now they've got so much stuff about the food. And now they're sitting there saying, they put in this cricket factory, a giant cricket factory like in Ohio or something. So they're burning down all of the food factories and killing all of the animals. But then they're putting in this giant warehouse thing, whatever it is, where they got crickets. They're just, because we're going to eat crickets and grub worms, I guess. Like, really? That's in Soylent Green. And I was telling her last night. And we even tried to look it up. So no, on McDonald's, everything, when you look up about human in the McDonald's, now the whole thing is like Snopes. Oh, this is not true. This is not true. So there's a lot of people looking it up, because the whole thing on Google, the whole way down. And my daughter was like, see, it says right here, the fact checker said, Mom, this is not true. I was like, Caleb, the fact checkers are the bad people. That's them. Of course, do you think they're going to come on and tell you? No. And there's enough people looking now that so all the stuff now that you're trying to look up on Google, it's like, nope, not true, not true. All the stuff that is true. But, you know, you have to, your soul has insight. Your soul knows. Your soul doesn't have to see the truth. Your soul just has to question things. So, and putting the questions out there is planting the seeds. So, you know, she doesn't think that this cricket factory, this water cremation, all those things, no, they're not going to make us do that. They're not feeding us. Like, what do you think that they do with all of those little carcasses after they are rejected from people's bodies? When I saw another thing too, where I saw all these people showing the pictures, and I've always thought this for so long, like these actors and actresses that look so much alike. I think that they are doing some sort of cloning situation, you know, or taking that DNA, spinning it, and then getting people to, like, surrogates to give birth to these people. I think a lot of these people don't even know, you know, that they are manufactured, basically, you know, that they are, because it worked for this person, so we're going to just make another one of them, because it's creepy how much some of these people look like each other. Like, and I've thought that for so long. Like, why do all the people in movies all look alike? And why does anyone who's new that comes into the scene look like somebody who's already successful? And you used to think, like, are they just out there looking for these people? Like certain ones, oh, you look like so-and-so. Well, we'll put you in a movie. But now I see it differently. Now that I understand more about this science experiment that's going on here, you know, if they're taking these people's cells and they are making them, growing them in labs so we can eat them, they're definitely growing them inside people's bodies so that they can use them as just another way to make money for the rich, you know. If they can get somebody who's a good singer, somebody who looks like somebody else, who they think that we all like them because how they look, well, we'll just make another one so we can keep them going to these movies and keep them doing this. It's all about just controlling us. Everything that goes on here is about controlling the masses. And the masses are what has to wake up to the truth. That's the collective. The collective has to wake up to the questions. And that is what is going on right now. But it's crazy how it just keeps being slow. But now I just keep seeing how much stuff is coming to the surface for people. How much stuff when this, you know, the pendulum swings back, when the energy goes the other direction and everything spins upside down. It's like the timer flips and all of a sudden it's like the sand's going the other direction and everybody is going to see themselves. And seeing yourself is a painful thing to go through because everybody wants to think, oh, it's their fault. It's their fault this happened to me. It's their fault this happened to me. But when you go in and you see, no, it's my fault. I put myself through this. I didn't love myself. I let myself be treated bad. That is what is hard to face because then you have to go deeper in. Like, why don't I love myself? What happened to me? Why do I feel this way about myself? And it's a whole thing you have to go through. It's not just like a realization. It's a process. But the process has great significance because it is the path to enlightenment. It is part of the process. It's part of the consciousness development of expansion. So anyways, you know, I've been talking almost an hour. And I'll probably, you know, come out and talk again tomorrow. You know, hopefully my brother's surgery is going to be over soon. Hopefully everything's going to go fine with that. Just blows my mind, though. You know, I'm just so anxious to get to those med beds. I'm willing to do anything to get over there. And, you know, and these other people are just like, just want to go to the hospital. But they are the ones that believe in science. But anything that is above their understanding can't really exist. It's like, well, that's very limiting beliefs even on science, isn't it? Like, I know you worship science, but you've got limiting beliefs on that as well. There's so much limiting beliefs. Everything is about this. It's just so much about this compliance and surrendering of your energy, of your essence, of who you are. In this place has all been about using your energy and keeping you in distress, and keeping you there so you can't grow and expand, so that they can just keep using it and using it and using it. I guess right now too, I just saw alerts come out now. They want to kill 8,000 cows a day to use them as the fat to keep this going green plant running. It's like, that's further away from green. Like, everything they say is such a fucking nonsense. It just blows my mind. I mean, seeing again the lines with the electric cars in California, like, I don't even know, mile long line in every single car. You have to sit there for a half an hour to charge, and then how far do you go to get to the next station? Like, they just want to keep us in such a frustration. Like, I will fucking get a horse. I will go and ride a horse. I will go and live out. I'll go live in a fucking cave before I'm going to go and be a part of this bullshit. Like, it's just fucking nonsense. It's very frustrating to just, I don't know. But that is, you know, we're in multiple realities right now. And so many people are still in the mind trap. They're just trapped. And you know. But no matter what, something's coming. Something's going down, and it's going to be very dramatic. It's going to be a lot of pain. A lot of pain is about to come to the surface of this place. So, and I think that those of us who have done our healing and have done the work, you know, because I know I've seen so many spiritual, so many religious people are completely no clue what's going on. So many people who are caught up in the politics, no clue what's going on. And there's so many spiritual people who are very much just trying to do teachings of how to survive in the material world, about how to manifest $1 million and, you know, those kinds of things. Like, there's just so many people who just have no idea really what's going on. So there's going to be, you know, a mass awakening when that happens, when that occurs. Like, it's a slow awakening right now, but when that happens, it's going to be quite the little, like, boom, kind of like a nuclear bomb is going to go off energetically. And I still say, like, I think there's going to be some significant things that are going to happen when it goes. But I do think that those of us who have been working on our healing and stuff, that we've been doing it just to help others. You know, that is our shift, moving us into unity, moving us into community, moving us into the light. And it's going to be great once we get there, but we still have a lot of work to do. A lot of work still ahead. So anyways, I still go try and get Stella up, try and stay focused on, you know, it's hard when you're just like, every time you see somebody, it's just the last time you'll see them. Like, what's to come? What's to come? You know, I just wish that this, whatever's going to happen, would hurry up and happen. That's why I don't like this slow dragging, because it just is more trauma, more pain. And I know it all, you know, I can think I know what's best, but obviously, you know, the cosmic sense of it all, the universe has its own plan. So just gotta keep riding this wave and riding it out and staying afloat. Remember, don't fight the current, don't fight what's going on, and try and stay in that, like, observation, observing what's happening, and stay, you know, in that floating, keeping yourself just floating. Don't fight the current, because it's like we're in the middle of a storm, middle of a big old storm. Everybody's just going against everybody else. So anyways, we'll see. But have a great day, and I will talk to you later. If anything significant happens, of course, I'll come back and do a little quick one. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.